Morning, everyone. Welcome to The Huddle. There has been a huge shakeup in President Trump's inner circle. Karoline Leavitt, the White House press secretary, is leaving by the end of the month. This is huge. Big loss for the president, who has relied on her for a lot of advice, not just to be, the face of his administration, but also the inner circle of the White House, where she has been a critical member. We're going to get into why, but also who might replace her. And I will note that one Sean Spicer was in Washington, D.C. yesterday. Sean, are you applying and interviewing for a new job?
Well, I let me just show you what I put out last night on social media, because I think I answered this.
Breaking news, Sean?
It was.
Hey, good evening. Sorry to come at you so late, but you've probably seen the news that Karoline Leavitt is stepping down as White House press secretary to spend more time with her family. I've gotten a ton of texts. My team tells me most of them are from bots, but I got to be honest, I'm not here to judge, and I don't really care where you come from. Regardless, I appreciate your support. Thank you for all of the messages that you've sent. And I'm just going to be straight up with you. After prayerful consideration, I'm taking myself out of consideration. My commitment to extended car warranties is too great. It really is. There's so many people who are keeping their car longer. I just can't jump back into government service full time. I have spoken with a lot of people about potentially serving as ambassador to Iran. That is something I will equally prayerfully consider. But until then, I appreciate all of your support, and I hope you tune in every day to The Huddle and to the Sean Spicer Show at night. Thank you for your support and your consideration.
Ambassador.
It was tough. It was tough. But I had to do the right thing for me and my family.
There you go. Well, you're still holding out hope.
And car warranties.
I was going to say the ambassador to Iran position. You can just, solve all the world's conflicts.
Yeah, that's a whole different kettle of fish.
Yeah.
I'll have to think about that one.
Think about it carefully.
Yeah.
All right. What else do we got on the show today? We're going to get into all that with Karoline here in a minute. Oh, yes. DSA claims to be for the working class people, but moderate Democrats right now, eager to sort of seize the mantle back from them, are now arguing that the working class is rejecting DSA. I'm a little skeptical on some of this right now, and I think
Really,
Dan, I'm very eager for your and I exchange on this, because I think I know where you're coming from on this, and I hope you're right.
I mean, I'm just looking at the data.
You're right.
That's
but
all.
I'm also concerned that you might not be. But I don't know.
Okay.
We'll see.
All right.
We're going to get to it. Also, Marco Rubio, his good nature is once again sort of breaking the internet. If you haven't seen some of the sound from this new podcast he did, the Katie Miller podcast, we're going to play some on the show. Just talk about, why people sort of love this guy and wish he would run for president. What's the latest on that? We'll get into that as well. Also, the Southern Poverty Law Center CFO has been indicted. Sean's a huge fan of this group. Sean, are you in mourning?
Oh, the group hasn't been indicted yet. The CFO.
I said the CFO, right?
Yeah.
CFO.
Yeah.
The CFO has been indicted. And I know Sean is a big fan of the group. We'll get into that. We also have, because it's Thursday, our Senate matchup huddle meter. So we will talk about the races and where things are. I'm excited to get to that as well. Look at the day book real quickly. There's actually not a ton going on. It's one of those like mid-August Thursdays where it's kind of slow. 83 days to Election Day. DNC begins the 3-day meetings, 3 days of meetings where members are going to vote on the 2028 presidential nominating calendar. Dan, we don't expect any changes or anything on that, right?
Nope, but people are trying.
Sure, why not?
Yeah, of course.
Until it's official. But
right.
We'll see. 11 o'clock, the president has his intelligence briefing. 2 o'clock, he's got signing time. 3 o'clock, signing time. And 5 o'clock, a policy meeting. Just a quick word from
I'll just add too, because I forgot to put it in there. The producer price index just came out. It went up 0.4% versus estimate of 0.3%. And initial jobless claims rose in the month for the month, 290,000 versus 240,000 estimate. So not great economic numbers this morning. And the difference, yesterday's inflation number was for households. This is for what wholesalers are paying. So you kind of put the two together to try to get a snapshot of inflation.
Awesome. Well, thank you for the update on that. Just a quick word before we jump in about Omaha steaks. If you haven't tried them, frankly, you haven't lived. These restaurant
All
grade
right.
meat, frozen and shipped right to your door, so you can enjoy the best right at your kitchen table without leaving your home, which is awesome. One of my favorite features of Omaha steaks is that they are individually wrapped. I have mentioned this before. This matters a ton when you are married to somebody who has totally different taste buds than you. Do you guys have that issue where
Oh, we sure do.
your wife wants chicken and you're all about the steak, or I'm about the pork chop, and he wants hamburger? You don't have to decide anymore. You both get to choose what you want and grill them. Just thaw them, pull them out of your freezer, and grill them. So
wait, do you allow? Will you do, like, both of you, like, multiple? Okay, I have chicken for you tonight, a burger for you. In our house, it is the chef is making this, and you're all going to like it.
No,
we'll argue.
That's first of all, I appreciate that. That's how it should be. That's how I was raised.
I agree.
It's
how it should be too, Sean. Especially when I'm the one making it, and he should be eating whatever I'm making, and he should say he loves it and it's great, even if it's not. I feel like there's a Shania Twain line in some song about this. Anyway, agree with you, Sean. But no, we have different tastes. So what about Dan? Do you guys do the? You do the?
We do with the kids. My wife is very comfortable telling me, no, I'm not going to have what you're making, and I will have what I want to have. I think I've heard I'm the boss of me 100 times, but the kids do not get such a say. They like it, whether they like it or not. They're eating whatever I or my wife is cooking.
Yeah, totally feel that. Anyway, getting back to Omaha steaks, it's great. I'm going to, after the show, go out, talk to my husband, thaw some meat, and get it ready for tonight. It's going to be great. And look, they've got great prices for $79.99. You can get 20 premium steak burgers, filet mignon burgers, New York strip burgers, ribeye burgers, brisket burgers, sirloin burgers, or you can go with one of the packages that is like, chicken and the pork chop, which again, just love the pork chop. Let me pull up the code here. Okay. Yeah. So go to omahasteaks.com. You can get this, again, 20 premium steak burgers for $79.99 plus $35 off with our promo code.
That's a great deal.
Huddle. That is a really good deal right now, especially like when all these meat prices going up. Omaha Steaks, you can rely on them for a good product and an affordable product as well. We also have, and I was going to say it will work well with your budget that you're building on Monarch. Dan, tell us about Monarch.
Yeah, speaking of telling your kids this is how it is and you're going to like it, we are having the famous conversation of your allowance and how far it does or does not go. And as we've told them, this is your allowance. You're going to like it. Perhaps you need to look at your spending, ladies and gentlemen. Go through, see, what makes sense, what doesn't. Monarch Money, it is terrific. They have an AI agent that will help make recommendations, take the information that you put in, that you can sync stuff up, and help make smarter, more efficient decisions. Help your money go further. Try to avoid getting in financial trouble. This is one of the big things: financial literacy. For people of all ages, but particularly, for younger people. But Monarch Money, it is a terrific app. If you haven't tried it, highly recommend it. Use our code HUDDLE at monarch.com to get your first year of Monarch Core half off. It's just $50.
Another great deal.
Yep. Use our code HUDDLE, but cannot, this goes back to my H&R Block days of financial literacy. It is remarkable how many people get in trouble early or later in life because they don't track stuff. They make purchases that they, maybe shouldn't. And so go to monarch.com.
I'm telling you, the cool thing is it sucks it all in for you and it does the work. It's super and it's amazing what you see. So I just go play it on monarch.com and you'll get a sense of what I'm talking about.
I mean, the AI agents, in all seriousness, this is where AI is pretty remarkable. The ability to kind of get a sense for your spending patterns and kind of what may be coming and how to avoid, spikes. Smart.
And to alert you that you're spending way too much money on DoorDash, which I haven't. I'm next week when we're off, I'm going to totally experiment with Monarch, and I'm waiting for the alert to be like, too much money on DoorDash. Anyway, okay, let's jump in, guys. The first topic here, the DSA working class paradox. So Democratic Socialists of America, they're arguing that they're for the working class, the average Joes, right? But the establishment Democrats are very much seizing on this moment, this rejection of DSA member Francesca Hong in Wisconsin, as well as AOC saying on the Sunday shows that woke one was, quote, crazy, like clearly putting distance between her and what happened in 2020. They're seizing on both of these data points to say that the party is starting to realize how toxic this brand of progressivism actually can be, and that it is not reaching voters. This morning in Playbook, Rahm Emanuel is on the record telling Playbook, we're the only country where you have to be rich to be a socialist. If you're going to try to be a party that recruits people, working class people that go paycheck to paycheck, socialists have been repulsing them. And he points out that a lot of the DSA base, they are wealthy PhD students at Columbia, wealthy yuppies living in brownstones. And he points to, and Dan, you've talked about this on the show, Black voters, disenfranchised Black voters who feel that DSA is not doing nothing for them. And frankly, they don't like them at all and they're rejecting them. So the core of this is that centrists are arguing that the party is now seeing this. They have a quote from Welcome Pack, Liam Kerr, this sort of moderate, more establishment Dem, saying the party basically touched the stove and decided that, it was hot and that they're going to be pivoting in a new direction. So, Dan, as I mentioned at the top, I'll be honest with you, I kind of feel like this whole take in a way is wishful thinking on the part of Rahm and some moderates. And I don't want that to be true. Socialism is bad. I think it's better for the party to reject socialism. But to me, it just feels like these guys are living in la la land if they think one big loss in Wisconsin with a candidate that Bernie and AOC didn't even endorse is going to shake the party out of this sort of fixation they have with socialism right now and swing them back to the center. Tell me I'm wrong on that.
Yeah, you're pretty wrong on that. I think the data is really clear on this now, which is go back to the first socialist to win, and it's not even just socialism. I mean, I know it's a catchy thing, but the kind of super progressive wing of the party, Mayor Mamdani won, running up the margins with young voters, rich voters, and ethnic working class people that are first generation, like the taxi drivers and the Uber drivers that populate primarily in central and western Queens. He did not do well with Black working class voters out in eastern Brooklyn, did not do well with working class Latinos in the Bronx, and did not do well with some of what's left of the white working class in places like Staten Island. If you look at El Said, where did he do well? He did well with young voters. He did well in the urban core with wealthy voters. He got crushed with Black voters. He did terribly with white, rural, working class voters. Again, what's left of them in the Democratic Party in our primaries. If you go to Colorado, where Michael Bennet lost, if you go to some of these House races, the DSA candidates are not performing well with working class voters. Go back to 2016. What saved Hillary Clinton's bacon? Black voters in the South who did not take to Bernie Sanders. Why was Hillary competitive in some of those Midwestern states? Black working class and rural working class voters. Those voters didn't love Hillary. They just did not like Bernie Sanders. And so the problem for the movement has always been this paradox, which is their crowd is not the working class, because traditionally the working class is much more paycheck to paycheck. What are you doing today? Right. What are you doing to fix my life today? The esoteric stuff and the social, he, him, pronouns, that stuff is not them. They don't, it is wealthy people who are sitting around, and young people kind of think it's cool. So I think what's happening is there's now more and more evidence as we have some of these races that this is a paradox. They do not at least they may think they do, but there is no data to support that the socialists are winning. You would think the white collar urban professionals are with the moderates, and all these working class voters are with the socialists, and it's the utter opposite.
Yeah, well, maybe look, I don't disagree at all that they're not winning those voters. The thing I disagree with is that I don't think Democratic primary voters are all of a sudden going to switch and move to the center and see that. Like, I don't think they understand that yet. It hasn't resonated yet, and it won't resonate until.
Why do you say that? Why do you say it hasn't resonated? I mean, Michigan was
super. Because you still have people like, I mean, I know she's not a socialist, but Flanagan, El Said, between
Flanagan is progressive, and it was immigration. There's no DSA stuff. That's the thing.
Defunding ICE, defunding the police. That's all. And I mean, like,
she did not advocate for defunding the police, Peggy Flanagan, and I don't believe she advocated for abolishing ICE. So I mean, look. It's super popular in conservative media to put all the bucket, on
So
all these
Dan,
candidates.
I actually agree with your analysis. And it's funny. I think both of you are right. Dan's analysis, this is a bunch of rich liberal white people
and young people
that they're fixing all the world's ills, right? This is not, Dan's right. These are not the people who are gig employees who are working their tail off. They probably are appalled by this stuff. The people who have the loudest microphones on Blue Sky and X and whatever, and go to cocktail parties, those are the people driving the DSA movement. And I was listening to like Scott Galloway the other day, or a clip, and he was like, hey, look, I don't have a problem paying more. Like, these are these elite, rich white people who want to be like, I'm giving back and I'm doing my part. But Rachel's also right, which is they're still like they're still
45% of the party,
right, or whatever. And in a lot of cases, but let me just give you my take on Hong, because again, I think that it's so easy to just DSA got dealt a blow the other day, and that's it, and whatever. It's, in my opinion, two things are important to understand about this. Number one, the AOC thing. I think she was threatened by Hong, like in the sense that Hong was adding an element of crazy. I don't think Hong lost necessarily because of the policies, but it was when she started talking about canceling Thanksgiving and my child's proximity to whiteness. I think people were like, okay, this is nuts. Like, I'm kind of with you on some of these issues, but now you're sounding like, you're a bat-ass crazy person. And I think that's, had it not been for the Thanksgiving clip and her disappointment that she married a white guy that had a half white kid, that she would have won. I think that, like, and this is the thing that's different on this, is that AOC was distancing herself because, one, she was protecting her own brand, which is, I want to look like I'm more moderate, I'm less nuts than this woman, and she wants to go into the next cycle as the leader. If you start talking about having to defend Francesca Hong and the nuttiness she said, so AOC did what she did out of self-preservation. That's the first thing. The second thing I'll say is, we've all talked about this. This was not your normal construct, right? David Crowley jacked up the black vote. He's a black guy that's elected. It was endorsed by the governor. If that dynamic didn't exist, if David Crowley was a white guy, Hong would have won, right? I mean,
I don't know about that.
The black vote would not have gotten out the same way that they would have.
She also didn't. Hong performed really poorly in the rural parts of the state. I'm not saying that the moderates have won. What I'm saying is, I think as you dig back and pull back the data, I think this is becoming apparent. So I agree. In some states, that coalition is still going to be a force. But if you think about 2028, which is, a lot of people have it on their mind, or even Senate primaries coming up, you have to look for states where that coalition is really strong. Now, they're good at organizing. They've been able to do
They've
stuff.
Got energy.
Off the land without the money. Like, they're a force, and they may end up winning. And look, I think some of those working class voters, I don't think you can win, right? Which is, you think that until they win, and then you might be like, great, I'm with you. But I do think it is long term. El Said is going to have to crack this code in Michigan, or he will lose. Has to.
He probably will lose.
I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah. No, it's super fascinating. One other thing to mention about Hong, I mean, you kind of brought this up, Sean, but like the difference was what, like 3,000 votes? She lost by like 3,000 votes. I mean, imagine if Bernie and AOC had endorsed her, even if, with all the crazy Thanksgiving stuff, she probably would have won, right? Like,
probably.
I think if people had sat on the sidelines, I think that Thanksgiving thing was probably the biggest, which is, you start talking about canceling Thanksgiving, and people like, that's the kind of stuff that stops you in your tracks, and you go, what?
It was, I mean, look, the last 2 weeks was, as people, because even the national press began to say, she is going to win. Yeah. Abolishing prisons, Like, I mean,
you just can't.
Most working class people are like, pardon me? Like, what?
Yeah.
You're gonna
You know what, though? Can I?
So I do think Thanksgiving ricocheted on the internet.
Yeah.
I do think the whiteness comment, took off. But I think it was the collective, holy smokes, this is crazy.
But the one lesson that I would say is,
she still almost won.
She still almost won, but this is where, like, these guys, we talk about surging too high. She was going on Fox News, and it was like, there's no one that watches Fox News that was going to vote for her or in the Democratic primary, right?
She pivoted to the general.
Right. So I think that, like, where these guys get a little too big for their britches is they forget what the goal is. And the goal for her was to win a Democratic primary, and they get punch drunk on, like, oh my God, everyone wants to. I mean, it's like Anthony Faucism. They're like, oh, so enamored by everybody wanting to talk to them and whatever, that they forget, like, one of the things that I always tell people from a media perspective is, like, answer the question, why? Why are you going to do that? What does it get you? How does that further the strategic end goal that you're trying to achieve? Because too many people go, oh, cool, I have an opportunity to go on TV. And I'm like, okay, it's not just an opportunity. There's a potential downside too. Like, you screw this up. So why are you doing it? And I think she got very punch drunk on her own media.
All right, guys. Last thought on this, Dan, and then we'll move to Karoline. If you have
just to be continued. This is going to play out, and at some point, we'll start talking about the 2028 Senate map and who's going to get primaried, and to be continued.
Absolutely. All right, let's go to Karoline Leavitt, youngest White House press secretary, leaving the podium and the White House altogether, though she will be an advisor, it sounds like, on the outside for the president. President Trump announced this on Truth Social yesterday. She says she wants to have more time with her kids, which I totally 100% get. She just came back from maternity leave. She was out for about a month, guys, right? I would say about a month. She also has a 2-year-old. So she's got 2 little kids at home. She wrote on Twitter that I have felt in my heart that I cannot be the best mom my 2 young children deserve while devoting the constant time, energy, and attention required as the White House press secretary. Like I said, we're going to get into questions about who will replace her. A ton of names out there. Sean, I'm very curious to your reaction to some of these names. And also what's next for Karoline. We'll get into that as well. But first, just to underscore, this is a big loss for the White House, for the president in particular, because she wasn't your sort of average, press secretary. Like, she was in the room for a whole bunch of stuff, and not every press secretary can say that, right? Like, she was in the room for the decisions. He relied on her for a ton. Apparently, he was calling her all the time when she was out on maternity leave. The president is reportedly pretty upset about this, or sad about this. I should say sad, not upset. He says he understands this, but apparently he's hoping that she does change her mind. Sean, you have been in this job.
Change her mind.
Under the bright lights. This has to be extremely grueling. Given that she just had a baby, like, did you see this coming? Were you surprised?
A little surprised at the timing. I thought she would have stayed through the midterms. That would have been the natural time to step down in the interim between the midterms and the new year, which is when I would have thought would have been the appropriate time to do it. But look, if you read her post, most people in Washington, D.C., anytime they do anything, say, I want to spend more time with our family. And this time, I actually think it's 100% true.
Yeah, no doubt.
I've had a lot of jobs over the last 30 years in the professional world. There's not even anything close to what I've ever done in anything else that comes close to being the White House press secretary. Maybe Dancing with the Stars in the quarterfinals. But the intensity, the scrutiny, everywhere you go, everything that you do, everything you wear, and that's not even the job, right? I also think that people forget that everyone loves the briefing. I know I'm more of an institutionalist on this front, but you're running a massive communications effort. Every department, every morning, what's going on, who's segueing this, what are they announcing, what are they not, what's incoming. There's a lot of stuff in that job that people don't see. And there's a lot of issues that never make it to the light of day because you are, at least in my case, and I definitely think Karoline's in this, is that you're brought into every major national security issue that people, and the number of issues that come up that no one ever hears about because there's threats that our country faces and things that are happening that you get read in on because if something were to happen, you need to be able to respond. So, I mean, you have a phone. There was plenty of nights where I'd get a phone call from the sit room saying, such and such just happened. We needed to let you know. Has the president been informed? Yes, sir, he has. And I'd be like, okay, thanks. But like they need to, so you know, on a random Saturday night, you're getting a phone call at 3 a.m. that something just happened at some place. You need to be aware of it. I had a secure phone in my house, and like, there's no free time. There's no off button in that job. And so I completely understand this decision. She is among the average tenure is like a year and change. So she's probably at the further end. There's a very big difference, I think, also in doing this job under Donald Trump than there is in any other president. I mean, I've known most of them. I was number 30, right? So there's very few people who've had the job, very few in modern history. Doing the job is crazy. Doing it for Donald Trump is a level of intensity that I don't think anybody fully appreciates until you've had the job.
Also, not just because of him being a demanding boss, but also because reporters call him at all hours of the day and night and break news, and you don't always know what's going on, and that's your job, is to know that, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I can't imagine. I will just say, there are some flacks, and I know this because I've been in the business for 15 years, who frankly don't like the press. Like they they work with the press, but they hate the press. I've dealt with flacks who won't steer you, won't give you sort of off the record or on background sort of thoughts on things. Like it's, some flacks who like I said, have seen, like they literally will set you up to try to set you up to fail. And Karoline is like not one of those by any means. She's always been a pro's pro. And she's also given a ton of access to independent journalists. I think that that's fantastic. So obviously she will be missed. I also want to point out that, like I said, I think I mentioned this, but the inner circle, she's like a very important part of the inner circle. Susie Wiles, the chief of staff, has lost a lot of very close aides in the past few months. Taylor Budovich went to the private sector. He's doing his own thing consulting. James Blair is now on the outside doing political stuff. Now she's losing Karoline. There's been a lot of people who have left the White House to, frankly, go make money. And there is an understanding that they don't have a very big bench, and they have to figure out how to build a bench because all these people sort of are leaving. Dan, just weigh in here, and then we'll go into some of these names that have been floated.
I don't know her. You both do. I think, without betraying, either of your trust, the things you guys say off air about her, she sounds like she is a good person who, as you say, is a pro's pro and listens and gives honest feedback. And the fact that she has embraced independent journalists and kind of, whether it was her idea or others, the way they've redone the briefing room and moved people around and opened it up, I think is great. And I think she always seems to have a smile, whether it's a fist or a hand, so to speak. No, but she does.
She's tough. Look, she's tough.
As you guys both know, it can get pretty heated in there. And I can't recall an instance where she lost her cool. She'd punch, right? She'd give as good as she got. Yeah. But it would be understandable if she kind of lost it a few times. So again, just from everything I've learned from you two about her and just what I've observed, she really did do a great job. And you add that she was the youngest ever, which is remarkable.
Yeah.
And that Donald Trump, who is a very tough media critic, like very, very tough.
Well, can I just, one of the reasons that I hate phrasing it like this because it doesn't sound like, but one of the advantages that she had that's very different than any of the previous four, actually, for the most part, the previous four, is the level of familiarity that she had with the president, right? She worked in the first Trump administration as a press assistant for Kayleigh. So she understood the building. She understood the process. She understood that. Then she ran for Congress and had worked on Capitol Hill for Elise Stefanik. And then, joined the president's super PAC and then the campaign. So she walked into that job, at least on the 30-yard line, probably the 40-yard line. And I tell people all the time, the conversations I would have with the president, there's still a little bit of get to know you. There was he didn't know what to expect out of the presidency. We both didn't know what to expect from the press. We were, there was one instance that I recall early on. I'm in the cabin of the front of Air Force One talking to the president, and it had taken off. And as Rachel probably knows, the tradition is when the president travels, you gaggle on the back of Air Force One and just, here's what's going on. It's quick, it's easy. And then that's it. And I said to the president, I got to go to the cabin just to gaggle. And he looks at me and goes, why? Because that's what the tradition is. And he goes, who cares?
And I was like, because we were in the middle of a conversation and I think we were actually going to Philadelphia. It's a short flight. I knew I only had so much time, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, Sean, who cares? Like, I'm going to talk like, well, and I was like, yeah, but sir, that's the tradition. But I was like, sir, that's the tradition. And
that's done.
And I kind of like what it took a while to realize for both me and then every subsequent press secretary is that what he said, who cares? Do it our way, do it his way, do it just because everyone else did it one way. That's a hard mold to break. And you mentioned the reforms in the briefing room. I give them a ton of credit for that. But like when you walk in knowing you can do it because 4 other people have tried different things and what's worked, you start on that 30, 40 yard line that no one else did. Again, that's a huge advantage between that and their familiarity. And she definitely used that to her, you know, a feeling advantage. And also, but like the way he feels about her reflects that.
Yeah. Let's go through some of these names, Sean. Okay. I'm so curious. Let me just list them all. And then we can talk about individual ones.
This is where I get the text that said, how come you said this?
Alina Habba, former acting U.S. Attorney for New Jersey. This one's Brett.
Well, hold on. Do you want answers or how are we doing this?
I was going to say, okay. So, okay. Let me just list them and then we'll go back through. Breitbart's Matt Boyle, who's the bureau chief, Scott Jennings, Carrie Lake, Anna Kelly, who's the deputy press secretary right now in the White House, Jason Miller, Taylor Budowich, Stephen Chung, Katie Miller, Fox News personality, Rachel Campos Duffy. Let's start with.
Oh, wait, hold on. Sean, I give you that or the field.
Or is it none of them, Sean?
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. I'm
one of them or none of them?
That bucket or other. Are you going with that? It's probably coming out of that bucket. Let's just start at that level.
I'll take the bucket.
Okay. All right. Now, here we go.
Too. All right. I think I know who you think it's going to be, but I'm curious.
Oh, really?
If you choose,
do me a favor. You have a pen in front of you?
Huh?
Do you have a pen? This is like O's the Mentalist.
Yeah,
do you have a pen?
I have a pen.
Write down your answer.
I'm reading your mind right now.
No, write it down because I want to see if you get it right.
Okay, I'm writing it down right now.
All right,
this is fun.
Let's go.
All right.
How about this? I'll give you 1 to 10. 10. I mean, 1 is I'll give you a ranking for each. Like 1, I think they're highly likely. 10.
Boy, you're willing to do this. I feel like your phone's going to blow up, Sean.
It's all for the clicks, Dan.
All right, here we go.
Okay, so I'm going to show you what I wrote down as the person I think you're going to pick for the most likely to be.
Wait. No.
Come on. This is the press secretary matchup meeting.
Part.
Yeah, come on, Sean, hit it.
Let's go. We got to get to the
Having some music. Here we go.
Okay, go. Let's go.
Give me the name. I'll give you the number.
Alina Habba. What do you think?
2.
Ooh.
That's pretty high.
Yep. Wait, no. Boyle. 10's high, right?
1 is the highest, 10 is the least likely.
Yes.
10 is the least likely.
So
okay,
2,
all right.
So Alina Habba is 2. That's pretty high. Matt Boyle. Matt Boyle.
6.
Ooh.
Okay.
All right.
Scott Jennings.
4.
Okay. Carrie Lake.
3.
Anna Kelly.
3.
Okay, so multiple people can.
I was women.
I'm giving you a rating. I'm not giving you I'm not ranking them.
The person is the one he's going to choose because I wrote it down.
No. Just to be clear, I'm not giving anyone. I'm not ranking them. I'm assigning them a number of a likelihood.
I hear it. I hear it.
Jason Miller.
2.
Okay.
First man.
Taylor Budowich.
10.
Yeah, I agree. He's probably making too much
just to be clear, Taylor,
right
if Taylor wanted it, and again, that has nothing to do with each one of these is a reason, right? I'm not judging. I think Taylor's killing it outside. He's needed outside. He's already. He ran the whole operation. So anyway, I agree. Wanted it, and I think the same thing with Jason. By the way, if Jason Miller said, "I want this job," I think he gets it. Jason's been on. He's got a lot of considerations. And the president loves him. So if he wanted it, that's why I put him high. But I don't know that that's the case.
Yeah. I don't. Anyway. Stephen Chung.
10.
Yeah, I agree. No way. I don't think he'd ever want that job. Katie Miller.
I don't think he wants it. He's in the perfect spot. Chung loves to. I think he loves where he's at. He likes
to be in the background.
Right. He's not a guy. He doesn't want to be out there briefing. So that's why, again, I think if he said, Mr. President, I want to do this job, but he doesn't do TV.
Katie Miller.
I'll give Katie Miller a 3.
I don't.
Although here's the problem.
No
again, actually, you know what? I'm moving Katie Miller down to a 6.
Yeah.
I was going to say, she'd give up the pod?
No, it has nothing to do with the pod. I mean, they have 4 kids.
Yeah.
Very young that's children. And Steven, like, you can't have, with all due respect, 2 people. If she did it, Steven would have to go. Like, and I think you're going to drag Steven out on the last day. You cannot have 2 people in any arrangement with that level of intensity. Like, that at that level, it's just not. There's no way with 4. Never mind with 4 kids. I think just you couldn't have a relationship with somebody if both of you were doing those high wire act jobs.
Rachel Campos Duffy.
For the same reasons, I'd say probably 7. I mean, I think that what does Duffy have? Like 87 children. There a lot of them are older, but they've gone through great lengths to make sure that they have a working. I know what Sean and Rachel, at least not like, have some indication of what they do to balance everything. And they work their tails off to be home with their kids without getting into the location of stuff. They've really done a great job balancing their responsibilities, hers at Fox and his at DOT. Again, I think if she wanted it, that would be a different story, but I can't imagine that being on their list.
Okay. So your highest rankings tied between Elena Haba, Jason Miller. The fact that the president, I mean, he
did you wait? You didn't ask one of them.
Carrie Lake. Yeah.
Oh, did I miss Carrie Lake?
No. He gave her a 2. I believe.
We gave her a 3. We got everybody.
Okay.
Okay.
I think we got everybody. Who were you thinking of? Who did we miss?
No, I didn't remember because I thought I gave Carrie this one of the
yeah. So Jason Miller and Elena Haba both have 2s in your eyes. I thought you were going to say Jason Miller, which is what I wrote down.
Again, here's the deal. If Jason
like a woman in this job, doesn't he like a woman in?
Yes, he does. Jason is the only man that I think would be the exception of the rule.
Yeah, I don't know.
And that's why I put Jason's.
Does he look the part though? Because Trump's he's a big. You got to look the part.
Yeah, but Jason transcends that. Are you saying that Jason's not a handsome man?
I would never in my life.
He's not a beautiful woman.
Right, exactly.
But I think like Jason's longevity and loyalty and relationship with the president transcends so many other qualities. He's very and also here's the other thing about Jason. It's not just the president. Rachel alluded to Susie and like Jason. I think everybody really respects him. Everybody likes him, from Stephen Miller to to Susie, and I think the outside guys like him. I just tell you, like if that's why I'm saying it's his to say thank you, but no, and then it goes to the rest of the pool.
Super fascinating. We could keep talking about this, but we got to move on. We got multiple more segments to go. Okay, so the Southern Poverty Law Center's former CFO arrested Wednesday, charged with fraud and money laundering. Just a reminder, earlier this year, I think it was Todd Blanche. Wasn't it Blanche who originally announced that the group had been making payments to what they call informants in these hate groups that they're tracking, these white supremacist hate groups, even misleading donors. This woman, was it Heidi Birich? I don't know if I'm saying her name right. Birich. So she was the one who oversaw these fraudulent donor payments to these informants. One of them was a high-ranking official in the KKK. Another person she apparently had a romantic relationship with, shared a bank account with this guy. And that guy got like $1 million over the course of several years. Dan, I guess I'm wondering, like, is this the end of the group? Like, how do donors ever give to this group anymore?
Yeah, I don't. I mean, look, they obviously, we need to say it's all alleged, and they say it's not true. But the allegation that she paid informants, one of whom she had a relationship with and a bank account with, that is where you would get, donors and others who are like, WTF, this sounds like you're putting money in your own pocket. So yeah. I don't know. Obviously, they've been under, scrutiny now for the last year, the allegation of paying informants with these groups. I don't quite get how this all worked. And, can you pay informants? I suppose if you disclose it, it's like a consulting agreement. If you didn't disclose it to your donors, that's where you get in trouble. Yeah. Look, if you do something wrong, you got a problem.
Well, let's just a couple things that are important to note here. This is a nonprofit group, not a law enforcement body. The notion that they were, even if what they say they were doing is innocent in their motives, which I don't think it is. The idea they're not a law enforcement investigative body. This idea that they were out there trying to infiltrate groups, that's the job of the government, of the law enforcement agency.
Why can't they pay somebody a consulting agreement to give them information? Sure they can.
Oh, okay, but let me get to phase 2, which is what the indictment says. It notes that they secretly raised and funneled $3 million in donor funds. Again, this is part of it. You raise donors for, hey, we want to build a building. We want to go out there and educate people, whatever. Then they took that $3 million and then, according to the indictment, funded the Ku Klux Klan, the American Nazi Party, the Aryan Nation, United Klans of America, Unite the Right, National Alliance, National Socialist Movement, the Sadistic Souls Motorcycle Club, which sounds very interesting, and the American Fund. To hide those payments, they opened bank accounts under fictitious entities to conceal where the money was coming from and the control of the funds. And then here's the other thing beyond
that's where they're in trouble. Yeah.
Yes, is that they have a source at the Southern Poverty Law Center that was a member of the leadership group that helped plan that whole 2017 Unite the Right rally in Charlottesville. Like, I'm just telling you that this is insane. And again, I don't think this has an impact on like anything in the election, but like this just shows you the nefarious nature of this group and why they are such a bunch of scumbags.
Well, hold on a second. You said they funded.
Please, you have the rest.
Yeah, no. I believe these groups already existed, already had sources. They paid people there. So it isn't that the Ku Klux Klan would not have existed without the Southern Poverty Law Center, right? You got to be very clear about that. So I think.
I'm not even alleging that. The idea of, Dan, you raised money. If you went to a donor and said, could you give me $500 because I'd like to go infiltrate the Ku Klux Klan? I think they'd be like, I'm sorry, what? Like,
oh, I don't know about that. I don't know about that at all. If people said, hey, look, we want to know what they're doing to help protect people. That was their mission.
We still got to get to our huddle meter, guys. So we're gonna move on because I do want to play some of this Rubio sound. Again, Secretary of State Marco Rubio, he has said he's not running or he won't run against JD Vance. That's what he has said. And let's be honest, it sounds like from the recent reporting, at least I think it was the Post who reported that the president has privately told donors that JD's going to be the guy. So
I don't believe that.
I don't get into that another time.
Fake news, folks. Fake news.
Fake news.
He did kind of downplay it a little bit publicly, but maybe that's strategy. Let's play some of this sound from the Katie Miller podcast. She sat down with Secretary Rubio and his wife, and again, it just shows why people love this guy. He's rather hilarious. Let's do the first one. He was asked about RFK's meat and fermented veggies diet, which
sauerkraut.
Everybody in the White House is eating it, including like JD Vance. I'm sorry, what did I say? Yes, sauerkraut, fermented veggies and sauerkraut, right? Let's play that.
Of red meat and fermented vegetables. No, this is a crazy diet. This is a diet that consists of eating sauerkraut and meat. Now, you understand, like, this is not a sustainable thing. Like, you can't just walk into it.
Well, he sustains it because he does it.
Can you imagine? He has to travel with coolers of sauerkraut. I'm not going to travel the world with a cooler full of sauerkraut. It's ridiculous. I can't do it. It's not sustainable.
Are you Maha?
I'm in favor of Maha. Like, I think people should be healthy.
No, he is not.
But I think ultimately, at the end...
He is completely not.
What's he eat?
Pop-Tarts.
No, I don't eat Pop-Tarts every day.
Okay, you eat sweets.
The Pop-Tart is one of the great American innovations in the history of the world. If you think about it, it comes from
this
beautiful...
That's great. Jump out of that. He eats Pop-Tarts. Let's go to the next clip. He talked about dieting and how much he dislikes it and how he tried the paleo diet. Let's play that.
At one time, maybe 4 or 5 years ago, I tried this thing called keto. You've heard of this?
Yeah, keto.
Okay?
Oh, keto diet.
And you just eat all this protein. And so you go through this massive withdrawal from sugar and carbohydrates for the first 72 hours. It was a near psychotic event for me.
It's true.
If I did this in this job, I would be, Mr. President, we must bomb, Paraguay. And it's like, why? I don't know. I'm just really mad I haven't had any sugar. So the point is that you can't, it really is not I'm not against this diet. I'm not asking that we ban it. I encourage people to try it. I'm just saying it's not for everyone. That's what I'm saying.
We can pull that out. We can pull that out. I had another. We have to move, so I'm not going to play this last sound. But he also was asked about. They were asked about the secret to their marriage and being married for a couple of decades. Rubio said compliance for the husband. That is, and then he also ribbed Pete Hegseth for having cats. By
the way, I will rib Pete Hegseth for having cats. Now,
yeah, really,
Jeanette Rubio came to Pete's defense and said they're Jenny's, Pete's wife. So I'll find out. This to me, if I had known that Pete, who's a pretty tough guy, had cats, I would be hazing him all day long.
My question for you, Sean, though, kind of goes back to the top, though. Like I mentioned that reporting that the president has said privately, JD's the guy. Is this a settled matter?
That is not.
Look, just I'll again. I will then go back to what I've said all along. It is JD's to one. There are two people who can make a decision that it's not up to JD Vance as the standard bearer going forward. JD Vance saying, "I choose for a million reasons not to do this," or the president anointing somebody else. That's it, full stop. Otherwise, it's JD's. Marco cannot do this job in the job that he has. And any attempt to go like settle down and whatever would give 18 bells would go off. So I'm just telling you that like, it's not when people have this discussion, again, it's not about whether I love Marco Rubio. I have become such a bigger fan. The interviews that he has, he jokes, he is hysterical. The comment the other day, if you didn't see it, he's in the middle of an event at the State Department and he tells the president, don't look up or don't look behind you. And the president says, why? And he goes, because there's a beautiful painting and I don't want you to take it back to the White House. And it was just hysterical. Like he's got an unbelievable sense of humor. Love the guy, but don't like understand the rules of the game. This is not like it's, we get to pick this person out of air or there's some kind of like prediction market that like until he says he wants to run or JD says he doesn't, it doesn't matter.
Right. I totally agree with you. Dan,
I respect Sean, but I'll just say JD Vance has no say in this. It is Donald Trump's say. 100%.
Oh, no.
That man is so comfortable in his own skin. That conversation, any couple in America would watch that and giggle and laugh and kind of like lean forward in their chair. You watch JD Vance, he's stilted. He does not look like a natural in those settings.
I disagree on that.
Well, hold on.
I don't know that I agree with that.
Yeah. I think Marco Rubio
looks funny as Marco, but he's.
But Dan, I just want a point of clarification.
Let me finish.
Let's let him finish. Yeah.
Marco Rubio is better at it than JD Vance. Donald Trump is obsessed with image. He's obsessed with the media. He's obsessed with presentation. He's also, most importantly, obsessed with winning. He is not going to go in on JD Vance until he has a high degree of confidence he's going to win. And so therefore, JD Vance
I will tell you though, I'm not entirely sure I agree with the analysis for a reason to discuss later. But the point that I'm making is there's only two. If the president said, I want Marco to be the guy and JD says I'm running, Marco, I think would say, I've already been clear to JD, I'm not going to do this unless he drops out. So JD, I agree with you 100%. The number one issue is whether Donald Trump endorses, right? That to me, I agree with you on that. But number two is if JD says he's running, then Marco's already made it clear. And I believe him. Marco's not one of these guys that, like every other politician, I believe him 100%. He would not do that. So
I'll add one other thing. The House of Murdoch. Watch it.
Oh, I don't care about that. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yeah,
I think it's important as far as the ecosystem, Dan, don't get me wrong, but they don't have like Marco Rubio isn't going to run because the New York Post or Fox News says so.
Oh, I don't think so. I agree with you on that, but it's related to Trump.
We're going to come back to it at some point. I guarantee we'll come back to it, but
like 80 times.
We got to get into OneSkin and Cozy Earth.
Oh yeah.
OneSkin, how's your face looking today? Let me look. Oh, I don't know. I think you
don't lean in there, pal.
Well, that's why. But again, remember you use the OneSkin moisturizer. This is the face one I showed you yesterday. They've got a body one, and then this is the one with the SPF in it. And so it depends. The beauty of having a variety of them, and I loved being home yesterday because I got the big OneSkin cleanser that I use to start the morning. But I'm telling you guys, there's a difference when you start looking at the ingredients on the back of what you're putting on your face. It might worry you. And the difference is that OneSkin is completely science-based. This isn't about what makes you smell good or whatever. This is scientifically proven. I've been using this stuff literally for years. I love the ability that they've added to SPF in this. Now I feel even better when I go out. But I'm telling you, this OS1 peptide is legit. It is all about removing those zombie dead skin cells, rejuvenating your skin, making it look review. And the one thing that we show more than anything else is our skin. So go to oneskin.co/huddle, use our code huddle, 15% off. But I'm telling you, you start looking at what what you might be using now and the difference between OneSkin, and you're going to realize the ingredients matters, the science matters, the OS1 peptide matters. Go to oneskin.co/huddle, use our code huddle.
Then goes to cozyearth.com and get yourself some pajamas, right, Dan?
Or you get yourself a whole lot of things, Rachel. You can get yourself some pajamas if those are what you're in the need for. You can get some great T-shirts. I wore one to sleep last night. You can also get shorts. You can get joggers. The air is going to start getting a little cooler here, Sean and Rachel, in another couple weeks. And so you don't want to then say, oh, wait, now it's cold. I need some joggers. You want to be like that person who in August says, I want to be ready for September, right?
Get ahead of the curve.
They could sell out. They have new colors. Like, do whatever you need to do. If you want some flannel pajamas, order them now. Don't be too late. And of course, there's also, I think this is underrated, candles. I say this all the time because I do most of the cooking in the house. Sometimes the kids will tell you it stinks in the kitchen after I cook, and that's fine. I accept that. Light a Cozy Earth candle. Within a few minutes, it does not stink. Everyone's happy. So go to cozyearth.com, use the code HUDDLE, and you will get 20% off.
All right, guys. Since we are running late today,
I'll be quick.
You both. We're going to go to the matchup minute. Typically, we do 1 minute per state. I'm going to challenge you guys to be even tighter.
We got 9 minutes, 9 states.
Yeah. Okay. So let's just, I was going to say, normally I go through the rules. I think you guys all know the rules by now. So
let's, everyone knows it.
And we'll start with Alaska. So last time around, we had Alaska as a pure toss-up. Yep. Incumbent Dan Sullivan versus Mary Patola, the Democrat. Dan, you're going first this time, right?
Yeah, I am. Ladies and gentlemen, get excited. Dan is first. All right, Alaska, still a D1 state. There's been no polling that shows Dan Sullivan in the lead, and Lisa Murkowski is not helping him with statements and with some of the stuff she's doing. Let's Mary Patola be more independent. Alaska's in the D column right now.
Yeah, for that reason, I mean, I'm on the same boat, the other side. It's still an R+1, the history of the state. Dan Sullivan's record, election record shows, but there needs to be some public polling. I'm worried about the money here, and you're right. Lisa Murkowski has not been helpful to his effort.
All right, so we remain a toss-up. Okay, let's go to the next state, Georgia. Incumbent John Ossoff against Mike Collins. Last time around, we had them at D1. Dan, go ahead.
Yeah, I am still, I think, at D2 here. I feel really good. Money's there. Watch the governor's race now. We are the Democratic nominee. Bottoms, the former mayor of Atlanta, doing really well. It's going to help with the black vote. Georgia could be one of the biggest things on election night.
Sean?
Look, I've had this as a pure toss-up. I'm almost ready to click it one left. I'm not there yet. But for all the reasons Dan mentioned, the Republican investment here has not happened. They cannot, if Ossoff doesn't get battered around, I'll say the same thing in a minute about another state. He's getting a free ride. Collins, the outside groups are not there as early as they need to be. I know Senate Leadership Fund put some money in, but unless they can start showing some results soon, I'm going to move this one left. For now, I keep it as a pure toss-up.
Okay, so this remains D1. Let's go to Iowa. Last time around, we had it in R1. Ashley Hinson, Republican, versus Josh Turek, the Democrat. Dan, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm still at A0, but I am getting close to moving this to D1. There have been 2 new polls that show Turek up. I'm going to keep saying it. Iowa, this may be the wrong cycle for Ashley Hinson.
John?
Well, look, I think Ashley Hinson's a great candidate. She's raising a lot of money. Turek, again, he is not getting a lot of dirt thrown at him. It is a cheap date, as I mentioned before. I'm sliding this one to the left. It's still a Republican. The history is there. The gubernatorial ticket's not as strong as it should be.
Yep.
So I still think we're good here, but I'm getting a little bit more concerned about Iowa than I should be.
Oh, interesting. So now we are 0.5 moving the direction of the Democrats. Okay,
that's about right, by the way.
Yeah, I think that's probably right.
Let's go to Maine. Susan Collins, incumbent, versus Troy Jackson, the Democrat. Last time we had it at R.375. Dan, go ahead.
Yeah, I have this right here at. Did you put the arrow up? I think I have it at 0 still. Yeah, exactly. This race is a nail biter. The poll out from Fox shows Troy Jackson up 2. I think that's probably right. I continue to think this just may not be Susan Collins' cycle. There's just people want change.
Sean?
I think that the interesting thing is Troy Jackson, new ad out today. Maybe we play it tomorrow.
Yeah.
Good ad, a big amount of money behind it. He strikes the right tone.
Yep.
And so we'll see if it moves the needle enough. I still, and where I was last week at an R1, we'll see if this can continue. Like, I still think that Collins will overcome this, but I haven't seen, and they're throwing a lot at Troy Jackson. So he's got some good oppo coming his way. Still, Susan Collins is to lose at this point.
Okay, we end up at R.
0.5.
I was going to say what? Okay, let's go to Michigan. Abdul Al-Sayed, the Democrat, versus Mike Rogers. Last time we had Republican, 1. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm a 0 on this. I just need to see some data. I want to see if Abdul Al-Sayed can get on a front foot and bring some of those working class voters, excite the Black community. So I don't know. It is still a Democratic year. It is Michigan, but I'm certainly nervous about this state.
I've had this as a +2. I'll be interested with now that the race has settled post primary. Yep. Abdul Al-Sayed put out an ad. I tweeted it out earlier this morning. He voluntarily put out an ad that I find one of the most embarrassing, not discuss. It's literally just embarrassing. Hopefully we can get to it tomorrow. But for that reason, I'm keeping this a +2. I will be interested if polling reflects that soon.
Yep. All right, so we stay at R1. Okay, let's go to New Hampshire. We have not seen much movement here. Chris Pappas versus John Sununu, the Republican, D1.5. Go ahead, Sean. Or Dan.
I'm in the same.
I still feel very confident. I think Pappas has not done anything wrong. It is a good Democratic year in a state that you need all the right environment for a Republican to win. Even a Sununu on the federal level right now, I keep it as a D+3.
Sean?
Look, what I'm getting concerned about over and over again in a lot of these races is we have a massive financial advantage, especially in the super PAC world. None of it is being deployed. That is very concerning because at some point you just get lost in the wash. Sununu is a perfect example of where we could be, jacking up, taking a hit at all of Pappas's votes, et cetera, et cetera. We haven't gone there. I still think for the reason that it's an election day voting state, very little early vote. I'll keep it as a toss-up. But we got to keep an eye on this one.
Okay, let's go to North Carolina. Last time around, we had it at D1.5. Roy Cooper over Michael Whatley. Pretty consistently staying toward the lean Dem side. Dan, go ahead.
Yeah, my only question at this point is, do Republicans actually spend the money here in the fall, or do they actually pull out of the state, go to Iowa, potentially go into Texas? There's just no evidence Michael Whatley can do anything here.
Sean?
Yeah, for that reason, this goes back to my outside group concern. There's not enough money getting spent to put a dent into Roy Cooper. And if you didn't define him early, you're not going to define him late. Yep. I'll keep it as a toss-up, but this is moving in the wrong direction. If you're watching this, I wouldn't be surprised if I click one left soon.
Yep.
Okay, Ohio, last time we had a toss between Sherrod Brown versus John Husted, current incumbent. Go ahead, Dan.
Just D1, Max Miller staying in is good news for Democrats. I think Vivek is still continuing to struggle. I think Sherrod Brown, I think we're going to win this state, and Democrats are increasingly confident. Small but durable lead for Sherrod.
Sean.
Yeah, what's interesting about the Max Miller situation is Husted didn't, kind of joined his senior senator Moreno to say that Max Miller, which is going to hurt him in Northeast. So there's a dynamic that I don't have time to get into today. The scary part is this is where I'm starting to worry again. Husted not doing what I think he needs to do. Sherrod Brown is a flawed candidate because of where Ohio is, but I'm going to keep this as a +1 for now. I think we should take it. We will. It's going to cost us a lot of money.
All right, we remain a toss in Ohio. Okay, let's go to Texas. It was 1.5 Republican last time around. Ken Paxton, Republican versus James Talarico. Dan, go ahead.
I have moved this to a 0. I am increasingly of the opinion, I can't believe this, but James Talarico is hanging in there. The numbers back it up. Not a single poll has, I think one now has Ken Paxton up a point, but everything shows Talarico. This just may be a cycle where Talarico pulls it out because Ken Paxton and the Trump brand right now is not good there.
Sean, what say you?
Look, I clicked this one to the left. It's still a Republican hold, but we're barely holding on to this. Everybody, including Ted Cruz, is out there sounding the alarm. Yep. There's some concern about the depth and breadth of the governor's race, which is where your turnout is going to come. Paxton's not raising the money, getting things out. We will win this seat. It is going to be close and it's going to be expensive. The Dems' only plan right now is a sneak attack to come in at the end, dump money, and hope that it can put them over the top. But Republicans, trust me, are going to have to come in and defend this on the ground. We will win it. It's going to be expensive and messy.
All right. That leaves us to our point 5, moving in the direction of the Democrats for Texas. Okay, let's pull it back. Last time around, we had Republicans at 51, Dems at 47, 2 toss. This week, I actually have the same. 51 Republicans, 47 Democrats, 2 toss. Just different. The states are a little different.
Yeah, I'll just add, there is some chatter now of it is possible Democrats lose Michigan, but win 5 seats and win the majority.
I'm sorry, so they lose Michigan and win the majority?
Lose Michigan, but you win Iowa, you win Texas, you win Maine, you win North Carolina, and you win Ohio. You assuming you hold Georgia and New Hampshire.
No way. I would bet money. No way. You lose Michigan, it's over for
nope. There's no way you can say that looking at the data right now. There's no way. I didn't even put Alaska on there. I didn't even put Alaska on there.
I'm saying it. No way. Okay. Very good. Okay. So tomorrow we've previewed a little bit new Troy Jackson ad, and then you mentioned an El Said ad, Sean. You want to get to, so maybe play some sound tomorrow. Sean, what do you have coming up? There's panel day on your show.
Yeah. By the way, the last night, if you did not check out, I love the show last night. We went literally district by district to show you that Republicans actually have a very strong path to maintain the majority, but there's a lot of toss-up seats. If you haven't checked it out, again, I don't think anywhere else is going to do this, but tonight on the panel, we got a lot to break down, including Karoline Leavitt. We'll take the panel's temperature on who they think is coming in. Adam Gillette, president of Accuracy and Media, my old colleague, Lindsay Keith, and then Tudor Dixon, the host of the Tudor Dixon podcast and spokesman for United We Fund. So anyway, we got a big, fun show headed your way. And a lot of contenders for, well, let's just say we're going to have some fun.
All right. No questions today, guys. Sorry about that.
By the way, just a big thank you to Robert in the chat who said I was decent enough as the first press secretary. Thank you for that. I'll take that.
Number 1 press secretary of all time, right?
Well, no, he said I was decent enough. Decent enough. I'm going to add that to my bio. I'm decent enough.
Let's get you a mug that says that. A decent enough.
Yeah, I'm going to trademark that. Decent enough.
It's good. All right, guys. We'll see you tomorrow, 8:30. Thanks.